Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Gentforge Podcast, where today we are going to talk again with another fantastic business owner and, of course, collaborative expert named by Thomas Westbrook. Before we get into that, let's introduce ourselves. I am Joe Wallace, and this is Sean Otmishi right next to me. Sean, say hi, give a wave, and maybe even a thumbs up.
Hello, everybody from the internet.
Without further ado, let me give Thomas the floor to introduce himself as well.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. Thomas Westbrook, CEO, co-founder of Westbrook Solutions. We're a solutions consulting firm based on helping you solve the problems in your business, connect you to solutions, and truly get you going forward to the next step in your business. So really excited to be talking to two fellow entrepreneurs, two business owners that really do have a heart, as I know, for helping the small business, helping the mid-sized business navigate a very difficult market. And that's just the reality of where we are in 2025. I think a lot of people think they have it right, but I don't know if anybody truly has it right. And it's good when you can surround yourself with people that have the right intentions in mind when it comes to helping your business. So I appreciate being out here tonight, guys. Thank you.
Thomas, thank you for short notice for being here. Really, really happy that you came out, man. I know with kids and family, everything else can be challenging, but really appreciate short notice. So thank you again.
Yeah, of course. If you see a Dorito or a toy fly across the screen, you know, it's the nature of being a family-based business. So
it's hot Cheetos on this side, just to let you know. So we totally understand.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Right.
All I'm hearing is just cheese powder everywhere. So that's
and I heard vacuuming going on in your back end. So we're
yes, that was just a moment ago. The powder is no longer a problem over here, so thank God for that. No, fantastic, guys. Well, jumping right into it, I wanted to just basically say, just like Thomas just mentioned, we 100% align with what Thomas just said, and I know everybody out there. If you have any questions for Thomas, by the way, I definitely would encourage you to go ahead and either even during or after this podcast, put your questions down below, and we'll happily send that along to Thomas. He can get some information from him. And why would you want to do that? Well, the answer is simple, because we're going to talk, like we always do today, about some of the things that are really challenging for small and medium business owners, and not just about what they are, but maybe some things that actually can help solve the issues that we see. Now, we know we're never going to actually come to the perfect conclusion for everybody, because we all know it's not one size fits all. But we can definitely share experiences and also show understanding. And that really is the most important part in everybody's field of view, I think. Can you want to add anything else to that, Sean, before we dive into the questions?
Yeah, I just want to say that, with Gentforge, the whole goal is for uniting small businesses to come together and really help with being able to overcome challenges together. And the great thing about us three, and Thomas, we've talked to you many, many times, and we've been collaborating quite a bit. The goal is for us to come together and really help small businesses get through some tough challenges and really work together in unison and really be able to find some ways of being able to not only find problem solving, but talk to industry experts, but really also networking options as well. So we have an event March 6th. Joe, I don't even know if we've mentioned that as well. There's another event March 6th that's free to register. Love people come out, but we'll get more into that later on.
Absolutely. Well, basically, Thomas, I guess the first thing we're going to talk about is business planning and strategy, just kind of one of the big fortes I think you're known for. And I guess the first question that pops to everybody's mind basically in the spirit of collaborative success and understanding is a success story. Can you share a success story where strategic planning significantly impacted business growth? And Sean's face is covered. Let me fix that while Thomas is talking.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, I got to be careful because for a lot of our clients, we sign NDAs, so I can't really necessarily speak to specifics. But I do like to speak to some business planning back to my time in corporate America. Because that's really where a lot of my foundation in business planning came from. Was a senior leader for a company called Lifetime Fitness, now Lifetime, the Healthy Way of Life company, And, I had a sales team of upwards of 500 individuals. And we had 86 locations across the country at a period of time. One of the key components of what really made us successful is, not only did we plan for the year, but we planned for the quarter, we planned for the month, we planned for the week, and we planned for the day. And so I remember going into a location. One of my jobs was a turnaround specialist. I'd walk into locations that were failing, kind of worst to first mentality, where we'd step in and they'd be ranked 122nd in the country, and the goal would be to get them out of that bottom 50 percentile. And and so I stepped in this one location in the Atlanta metro area. And, as I sat down to start speaking with the different key department leaders within the business, I started asking the question, hey, show me your business plan. Show me, where are you at in your business plan that you put together at the start of the year? And I got blank stares, just kind of like business plan, as if, the business plan was already built by Lifetime, and their job was just to execute the global vision, right? There's a difference between a business plan and a global vision. Their job was to just deliver this global vision. And I said, well, hold up, pause. No, there needs to be a strategic plan to deliver your mission and your vision and your global strategy. And so we were about 6 months in. They had lost roughly $500,000 in revenue on the year. And we sat down and I said, we're going to build a 6-month plan on how not only to stop losing money, but how to find that $500,000 and make it a break-even year. And so I always tell people, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So we reverse engineered the living daylights out of this. So we took, the annual budget, which was $1 million for the year. We now had to do $1 million in 6 months. And we strategically put together a month by month, week by week, and day by day revenue, spending, EBITDA plan, that we had to achieve and accomplish each and every day. And then we assigned and delegated ownership to it. So each team member owned a strategic part of the plan. And it wasn't me in a room with one other person building this. We had collaborative meetings. The entire team was a part of building the business plan to create the adoption it takes to really go after and erase a $500,000 deficit, and then go back and then also achieve a $500, budgeted plan. And guess what? We did exactly that. And we actually delivered an additional $200K to the bottom line at the end of the 6 months. And it was because every single person that was a part of this owned their part of the plan. They contributed to how we were going to get there. And when we hit roadblocks, because we didn't win every day. I have a saying, win the day. Like, just win the day. Don't worry about winning the month, win the day. And through that, if you win more days than you lose, then you win the month. And if you win more months, then you win the quarter. And if you win more quarters, you win the year, right? So you see kind of how that process goes. And that's exactly what we did. We look back at the win-loss category at the end of those 6 months, and we had won 75% of the days. 75% of the days we'd achieved our daily business plan, our daily business goal. And to walk away from a club that was ranked 122nd in the nation, they finished top 5 for the year.
That's incredible. That is really incredible.
And so that's where I go back. Again, I love saying it. The only way you know how to win the day is to set your plan for the year, reverse engineer it, and then break your year down into smaller bite-sized goals, and then go after it one day at a time. Win the day, win the day, win the day.
Thomas, I do want to ask a follow-up question, Joe, if you're okay with that. I know this is off the cuff, but it has to do with that. When it comes to culture, was it hard getting people to change their mindset to start doing this, to make it successful and to implement it?
The first time that I attempted to do this, the very first time I went into a location to try to turn it around, it definitely was. And I'll say it definitely was is because I went in with the wrong mindset. I went in with I have all the solutions. I have all the answers. I know exactly what to do. So day one, I came in with my Thor hammer, and immediately started hammering policies, procedures, you're not doing it the right way, or, and the big ogre in the castle type scenario. And I mean, I botched it. I'm surprised they let me stay on this troubled club turnaround team because turnover increased, member satisfaction decreased, and it was a mess. And the reality is, if I had taken time and been a student for the first 30 days and learned from them and heard to seek to understand all of the different challenges that they were dealing with, and then start to partner with them to come up with solutions, whole different story, right? And so that first time I did it, no, it was terrible. It was awful because of how I approached it, the mindset that I brought into it. I expected my title, my position, right? John Maxwell's 5 levels of leadership, my title, my level 1 title. I thought that was going to do what it needed to do, but it didn't. It did the exact opposite. And so, round 1, total nightmare. Quickly learned from that and realized that I needed to be a student first, listen, learn, understand pain points, see why people do the things they're doing, really understand the culture, the mindset, the behavior. So then I can build the relationship that keeps people and gets them to buy into the solution that you're putting forward.
I guess that kind of lends itself right into the next subject we're going to talk about, which really is just what role does mindset play in achieving sales success. And I want to preface it by saying that I fully appreciate where this is coming from, only because I think Sean and I have really have experienced this on a very real level when it comes to dealing with especially current clients recently, there's a level of sales that is, I'm gonna test the waters and see how someone reacts to me, and don't rock the boat too much because you're scared maybe you may scare them away. And then there's just confidence and this is what's going to happen and this is why it's good for you and I know that one of the biggest challenges I've faced way in the really early on for in that vein was trying to be if you like what I've got to offer, it'd be really great if we could work together. And it was very much the wrong approach, because it's you almost seem like you don't know what you're doing, right? You may actually know exactly what you're doing, but you're scared to get it in front to be assertive. And I've recognized that recently. Sean, I think you could probably speak to this too, because we had some great success.
Yeah, I would say, I always compare us to the mechanic shop with IT. It's always about being customer centric and being customer centered approach, which is really essentially developing that trust relationship. Look, we are the best mechanic. In this case, I'm not focused on making my quota or make the sales. Let me figure out what your problem is and let me help you come up with a solution to solve that. We have a lot of clients that come to us and they say, look, I can't afford you. You're too expensive. I'm going to say, can we not talk about money for 2 minutes? This has happened many times. Let's not talk about money. What do you need? What's going on? And let's see if we can solve the issue. And we'll worry about that later on. Because for me, I just want to make sure that I can help you and support you with whatever your challenge is. Develop that rapport, develop that relationship, and we can always talk about that later on. You will win one way or the other as long as you can develop that long-term trust relationship. So I think that's why we've been pretty successful, Joe, is being focused on developing that long-term relationship and really not looking at sales from I got to sell you a tool, but more of what is your challenge? How can I solve your challenge with what we have to offer? That's been our approach.
Awesome. Well, Thomas,
I
want to put in your hand too. What have you seen the similar situation? What else have you seen can add to that?
I'm a big believer in not recreating the wheel. Sean took a lot of, and it's not surprising that we share a lot of similar business interests, because it'd be if Sean just read a paragraph that I just wrote, right? And so
I love that.
Truthfully, right? So, I don't like beating dead horses, and there's a reason that, your company and y'all's, what you do and your clients see success because of what Sean just said. So, I don't have a whole lot of color to add to it because it was already very colorful.
Okay.
Well, I do
Go
want
ahead,
to
John.
add one additional piece because Thomas, you and I have been talking a lot about scalability. I think we've been, when you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, and you've been doing this for a couple of years now. Business shifts, business changes. Your feel about the business changes, and Thomas, we talked about this quite a bit. And one thing that I see, we brought on some salespeople as well. And one thing that I've noticed is we get hit with, how do I handle rejection? How do I handle the dealing with that piece, the negative piece where I don't want your service? And well, and the truth is, you're not selling them a service. You're selling them a solution that's needed for their business, right? And if you're looking at it from that perspective, it changes. Is it possible, Thomas, if you talk about when we met the other day and you talked about it was about the plan. We talked about it was two different plans. Whenever the customer came up to you and you said, "Hey, you want the short-term plan, or you want the long-term plan?" And it deals with money. Could you go into that? Because I think that's really important.
Yeah, definitely. So again, I also say this, I don't like the word sales. I'm not a fan of the word sales. I am a big fan of building relationships. And nobody wants to be sold anything. Do you like being sold? No. Do you like always getting what you need? No, you want what you want, right? And then you'll try to get what you need every now and then, but people love to get what they want. And so if I remove the word sales and put in the word relationship, and go back to that conversation about how, we are focused on, long-term, short-term success. So let's kind of get into what you just said. If you're focused on relationship and you're sitting down with somebody, and in that conversation, you are walking through how they are going to achieve their goal, how they're going to solve the problem, how they're going to accomplish the thing they need to be successful, right? There is the quickest way to do it, but not the most successful. And then there is the more tried and true, honest, vetted way to do it. Might take a little more time, might cost a little more money, might take a little more energy and effort, but it's a lasting solution that will take your business further, and allow you to see more success, right? I always say this: quick success is short success. I know very few people that have got rich quickly or found success quickly that have been able to maintain that success over a long period of time. A lot of people that win the lottery, guess what? They go bankrupt. I know a lot of people have won the lottery that go bankrupt very quickly, because again, they've not built a process, they've not built a system. And so when you're talking with your client, when I talk to a client, the first thing I'm looking for is what are they saying, and then what do they actually mean? There's a difference between what a lot of people say and what they actually mean. So I'm listening for what they're actually meaning. What are they actually trying to say? What is the root problem? And then I go into another step and I say, what are you actually doing about it? What are you doing? You have a problem. What are you doing to solve that problem right now? And a lot of times it's, well, I'm going to Google, or I'm on YouTube, or I found some, magical wand on Facebook that said, give $10,000 and I'll be rich in 30 days. They've spent $6,000 on a LinkedIn magic button thinking that it would work, right? Like, I hear this all the time. And then now we're talking because they've invested $20,000 in these miracle buttons that are supposed to immediately scale their business, and they're $20,000 in the hole and nothing's worked. And I sit here and I take a step back and I say, well, how much do they actually know about your business? How much do they actually know about you? How much time did they spend understanding your real gaps, your real challenges, your real problems, your real marketplace, you personally, and how you operate? And the answer is, well, no, they didn't. I said, okay, cool. Well, so here's what we can do. I've got two plans that I can put together for you. I've got a plan that we can be laser focused on this for the next 3 months, and we can see a lot of success, and we can get there a lot quicker, but it's going to be an investment. It's going to be an investment in your time and an investment in your business, but it's going to get us there so much quicker. Or we can slow it down, because we don't have to throw the kitchen sink at it. We can slow it down, be a little more tactical with this, take a little more time, stretch the dollar a little longer, still get there, but it might take us 6 months to 9 months. So again, there's two different approaches to it, but it all goes back to the root of start with the relationship, start with the why, start with the actual root of what is going on. And then you can build a timeline around it. And then you can layer in the solutions. And again, you can solve a problem in 3 months, just like you can solve a problem in 6 months. It's just how you approach it, and every client's different. Some people, they can afford a 3-month solution. Some people can't afford a 3-month solution, so they need a 6-month solution. You know what? That's fine. That's okay. Or you walk into a business that's closing in 30 days and they need the kitchen sink thrown at it because they're going to shut the door in 30 days. And they need to do everything they can to keep the doors open if that's what they want to do. So I was kind of a long answer, but.
No, it's great. You hit around, sometimes I like the kitchen sink. I really do. It's good. Thank you.
That's exactly it's great. I love it. Well, fantastic. I guess next up really is just a matter of kind of coming off. What else is there to ask? Hang on. No, I have a great one. Go ahead.
I know that I'm not doing the podcast, but I've got a question for y'all, right? And so as business owners that work with people and trying to bring the brand to life, because again, we work with a lot of clients that are either trying to figure out what they want their brand to be, right? They're business planning, they're building a business plan. They have this idea, this concept, this napkin that they drew at a bar one night, and now they're trying to put a framework to it, right? Or we work with people that they're 5 years in, 10 years in, they've got all the things that just things aren't working. Y'all are in this unique space where you're working with people and you're now giving them their storefront, shall we say, right? A lot of people post-COVID, they don't have a brick and mortar, they have a digital storefront. People are finding them their Google profile, right? Their Google profile is their mailbox per se. So how are you taking people that, let's say, are in the business planning process, in the business planning phase, and how do you advise and guide them on when is the right time to start investing in SEO, start putting money into the website, start doing the marketing digital part to it? Is there a time that's too soon? Is there a time that, is it too late? Like, how do you guide people that are going through a business plan on when do they call you?
Well, and go me to take this first, Sean.
No, go ahead.
Trade off.
Start with, go with your part and
Absolutely. Well, I think one of the biggest things, obviously, is not as obvious to them right out the gate. And the main concern I usually have with when we get started on things is usually not the first thing that they think of. A lot of people think we're going to start a company, we're going to grab a name, and we're going to make it an LLC, S Corp, some of that. They think of logistical challenges a little bit first before they think of like the message that they're trying to send, right? And I think that we try to make them focus on the story. I think that's the first things first. What they're doing, why they're trying to do it. A lot of people, I know a lot of networking groups love to start with, what's your why, but it's actually a pretty important part of it. And it's not even as important for their clients that are going to eventually come in the door as it is for them themselves, because not everybody actually really knows why they started. Not really. And so that really is it. What is the why? What are you trying to come in and do? What is the message you're trying to tell other people? Because those things aren't always the same thing. And then how does your brand reflect that? How does your creative reflect that? And I always say, like, you start with your logo. You have to inject a lot of information into your logo without even realizing it. And I know that that's a very complex and very crazy thing to do. Not everybody, I'm not saying your logo is everything, because I know some people are overzealous about their logo. I've definitely experienced that many, many times. But it is important to just at least consider the questions. Like, the logo is like a symptom of your state of mind, basically. That's what it is. It's not what causes you, right, to it's not the start. People like to view it as the start of your business. It's like what comes from after you've done all these other planning bits, and now you're trying to figure out your message, and here is your logo. That's really where we're trying to figure people are. Where are they on the path? Go ahead, Thomas.
Well, I was just going to say, kind of to your point, right? Like, I like to use McDonald's as an example. When McDonald's was McDonald's before it was McDonald's. And right. The concept actually came from the making milkshakes and ice cream, and the process, the procedure, the concept, the idea was baked and then the brand, right? And then the brand followed. And then, I always joke, right? The logo for McDonald's has evolved over time. It's drastically evolved over time.
Oh, yeah.
And now now it's not even McDonald's. Now it's just the arches, right? Now it's just arches. All the new things that they built, it's not even McDonald's. They've achieved that status, right? Same thing with Nike. My wife and I actually were just having this conversation about logos. Nike doesn't have a shoe as their logo. Nike has the check. Now they scored Michael Jordan back in the day, so like that kind of helps, right? But in truth, kind of to your point, you had the concept, you had the vision, you had the brand, you have the idea with McDonald's, and then McDonald's became what it was, and then you had the branding, and then you had the delivery of the plan, right? So just kind of to give it a case study and an example of what you're talking about.
100%. And that really is where a lot of people struggle, is identifying all the steps before that need to happen before they can actually identify that logo. I feel like this. Your logo is basically going to be something that you're going to imagine. You're trying to insert your logo now into a dictionary. If you don't have a description of your logo, then it doesn't mean anything. So McDonald's, literally, think of hieroglyphs, right? I mean, a McDonald's, if you see M, people can associate that with McDonald's, period. It's over. That's kind of the goal of every branding attempt out there, is to have that kind of iconography, right? But you're not going to get there, and they certainly didn't get there unless going through all the steps you talked about. So when we're talking about people coming in fresh, and I'll let Sean talk about more of like the path and everything, I wanted to expressly talk about that creative process. Is like, it's important, but what's more important is all the things that come before to get to where you can identify what message you're trying to send, and then is the time to shoot it out there to the world as much as possible. But then the question is, well, how? Go ahead, Sean.
So Joe and I take this at two different approaches. Joe's the guy that says, hey, what do you need? Let me quickly fix it. But prior to us even going to that, so we take it to a two-pronged approach. I like to really discuss from a behavioral aspect and where is the maturity level of the business owner, and really take it from before we even talk about what you need, where are you with your business? So it's more of looking at the gaps and deficiencies of the business and really assess them and saying, okay, look, how long have you been in business? What do you currently have? What are we working with? Is it a blank canvas? Do you already have some certain things? Where are you at? And of course, prior to us even doing any sort of implementation, there's always the educational and the awareness piece for them to understand the value added to this. And of course, when we talk to them, we always do a free consultation from the beginning. So there's no obligation. And as the deeper we go inside that conversation, we understand more where they're at, where they're going. And then we also look for specific keywords. The keyword that I always look for is just. For example, you say, I want a website. Well, there's different types of websites. There's a landing page, there's a full-blown web page, there's an e-commerce website, and they all cost differently because of the level of technicality and the level of work that goes directly into it. So the customer says, I need a website. But whenever you provide them the quote or the estimate, and they say, all I do need, or I just needed, which really means that this is too much of a sticker price, I need something really more basic. So going back to the maturity piece and really educating the client, we provide them 6 pillars. And I don't know if we can share that. We can provide the roadmap later on, but the 6 pillars is a roadmap that says, look, you need an engaging website. You need to be able to implement local SEO. And what is the difference between local SEO and web SEO? Understand who your target audience is. Are you taking advantage of social media? Are you doing paid advertisements? And do you have a good solid call to action to go along with that? And if you have those, or certain areas you may have, then great. And then we'll build off of that. And then the biggest piece that I would say, Thomas, when I look is I'm looking for, and this actually goes really hand in hand with the fitness and the wellness area, which is how dedicated are you? I mean, you can give them a fitness, a regimen, a diet, a workout, you do X amount of reps, but if you're not consistent, if you're not following that to a T, then there's no point. It's just kind of like we deploy a tool. It just, A CRM. What good is a CRM if you don't actually use your CRM? We'll just leave it at that. So
very well said, Sean. Very well said. Well, thank you for answering my question, guys.
yeah, with the kitchen sink, bah, right?
Well, I think what really a lot of people also struggle with when it comes to starting a business and being consistent, like Sean's saying, especially using all the tools, it's also understanding what it is that's wrong. If they're not talking to people, really comes down to what we're trying to do in a nutshell, which is professional networks, right? Getting to know people either just like you in the same industry or like-minded industries or just people in general. And I think we've all found a very interesting situation sometimes. I know I did in the past when I first met somebody I thought could in no way, shape, or form possibly help me in any kind of way because I was not anywhere near their industry. And they proved me wrong every time. And it's always interesting to see because it doesn't have to be help in the way we think of help. It could just be, wow, you really made me think of something from a different perspective. So with that in mind, what advice do we have for entrepreneurs looking to expand their professional networks?
Sure. I actually like this question. I think it's a good one to actually wrap up with. Because I've got three primary pieces of advice. You're not in business to do business with everybody. So I'll say that again. You're not in business to do business with everybody unless you sell toilet paper. Right? So with that, right? Not every networking group is right for you. Now here's the thing. You should be able to walk into every networking group and your 30-second elevator pitch should be global enough to where it resonates. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do business with you, but it resonates, right? Your message needs to be clear, concise, and to the point, and I shouldn't have to take 3 minutes to explain to you what I do, right? For example, if I walk into, and it's something I'm always working on my own. I'm practicing on it. We talked about it over lunch the other day. Like I'm constantly refining my own pitch. To the point where somebody says, hey, what does Westbrook Solutions do? I simply say, hey, we walk into your business, we identify the gaps and the needs that you have, and we connect you to solutions that last and get you to where you want to go. It's that simple. It's that simple, right? Do you have a problem as a business? If you don't, high five, like I'm going to celebrate you, internet homies that don't have a problem in your business. But let's be honest, we all do. And wouldn't it be great if you could just talk to somebody that truly cared about your business and then said, hey, here's a solution. And here's the fun thing. That part's free. It doesn't cost you any money to talk to us to connect you to the solution. It doesn't cost you anything. And that's the fun part. Like zero risk attached, and a lot of times the solution we connect you to, we don't even get paid for. Like we make no money on it, and that's the beauty of it. We want businesses to truly thrive and be successful. So with networking groups, one, not everybody is going to do business with you and you shouldn't do business with everybody, right? Two, I would simply say this: what are you being asked to put into it? And then what is your ROI? So let's say you're dropping $2,000 for an annual unnamed group, that wants you to show up every single week for an hour and a half. Well, that hour and a half is real dollars. That's an hour and a half of your hourly wage that you are committing to this group. And then you spent $2,000 and then you're buying breakfast or lunch. And then you're taking your car and you're spending gas to get there and gas to get back. And then you're spending marketing. That $2,000 annual group now is actually probably costing you close to $3,500, $4,000 after you account for your salary and all the money that's going into it. Are you really getting your money back? Are they asking you to pay to work? And what I mean by that is like, hey, you're the concept of networking, right? You pay to get to join the network and hopefully you get business in return. But there's networking groups out there that ask you to pay and then ask you to do work. They ask you to do work. And here's the reality. There are a lot of free networking groups and a lot of different places that you can go where you don't have to pay to participate, and they organically want to support you and your business to do well. So that's the second piece. Is it going to give your business the tools and the resources that you're looking for? And is there an ROI? Is there a healthy ROI? And then last, is back to that pitch. Know what you're going to say. Like, be ready, and don't pigeonhole people with a 30-minute monologue about your business. People don't care enough. They don't want to hear your life story in a networking group. You got 10 to maybe 30 seconds at most, right? So give some sizzle like a fajita, and then leave them wanting, right? It's like the fajita that walks by. Everybody wants the fajita. Sizzle, smells good, smoking. And now you're like, dang, maybe I want a fajita. And all you really wanted was chips and queso, but now you're buying a fajita, right? Like, be the fajita in the room. Be the sizzle, be the smoke, little bit of excitement, and then leave them wanting. Leave them wanting to book an appointment, a consult, and go from there.
I'm hungry now, right? Did you have to do that?
I did.
You did.
I mean,
so
I feel
everybody,
like you did.
Be the fajita. Be the fajita.
Well, and that's exactly the mentality, by the way, that I always espouse when we were doing things in the advertising sector for specifically just, be it a game, be it a movie, be it, some sort of like, even just like a brand new product launch. It's like, sizzle it, get people on there, people wanting to know more because it's so cool looking, because it's so interesting, right? And, it's a lot, and don't even get me started about what I see nowadays, what people call sizzle, because I mean that's really where I've had it up to here when I watch like movie trailers now, and it's like they just give everything away, like that right there is, I think, is a perfect example of like how not to do anything in a networking group. Is just like, just watch the movie trailers they put out nowadays where they just give away the whole damn movie all at once. Oh man. So, well, guys, that's great. It's a great question. I think we can wrap it up there. But before we do, I just want to show that, hey, this is where you can find Thomas, and Westbrook Solutions, where you can get some fantastic folks just to go there, check it out if you feel like it, up to it. And by the way, I'm sure Thomas is able to tell us more about any of the other locations, maybe able to find them. But before we get to that, just wanted to point out that also we're going to be running an event like Sean had mentioned in March the 6th, I believe. Is that correct, Sean?
That is correct. March 6th, come out. It's a virtual online. It's a 2-hour session. Work groups. The whole goal is for small business owners to get together, collaborate, and talk about challenges they have inside their organization. Of course, Joe and I will be facilitating it, and we look forward to seeing y'all there.
Fantastic. And before we head off into the sweet night, Thomas, is there anywhere else that people can find you?
Yes, no, definitely. Of course, we've got a website. We've also on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn. You can find us at a variety of local chambers. We are based here in the greater Houston area, but we've also got an Atlanta office that we're excited to operate out of. So, like I said, normal social media channels, certainly our website. And then also, again, like if you call the number that's on our website, I will answer, right? And I think there's a lost art of actually picking up the phone and calling people. You go to the contact form, follow us on Facebook, do those things, like call me, like pick up the phone, actually like call, and I will answer the phone and we can have a real conversation. And I'll give you, 5, 10, 15 minutes of my time if you call, just because that's the way you should do business, build relationships, treat people well. So, that's the easiest way to follow along, is to just call and let's have a conversation, and you will not talk to an AI bot. You will not talk to a call center somewhere else. You'll talk to us, one of the business owners, and we'll start talking shop and start talking solution right there on the phone with you. So, the phone, pick up the phone, give us a call.
Perfect. Now, I know that you almost just did it there, but let's just do it anyway. We've been doing this a lot lately. You have a quick elevator pitch that you're going to throw at somebody, and we're going to have you do it in 3, 2, 1. Not me, this guy. Come on. There we go.
Absolutely. Super excited. When it comes to working with Westbrook Solutions, it's simple. Your business has a problem, your business has a challenge, and we have a solution for you. Through our vast network of partners, our in-house consultants and strategy experts, we certainly can help you get from point A to point B, growing profits, uniting people, and achieving success.
Well, shoot, that was really easy.
You act like you've done that.
It's almost
before.
like he's a professional. Yeah.
Thomas, thank you so
fantastic.
much. Really appreciate you, Thomas, for coming out.
Of course, gentlemen, thank you very much. And again, just a shout out, if you're looking for anything creative, web design, video, anything in the technology space, you couldn't pick a better company to work with. We continually are excited to partner with you and look forward to the future ventures and partnership opportunities.
Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you.
That being said, fantastic, guys. Come back again next time. Again, ask questions down below, guys. It's not a problem of when you missed it or not. We're definitely going to respond to anybody that gives questions. And hey, even ask questions for next time. Maybe we can actually grill some guests and make it real fun, right? In the end, though, guys, we're here to help and support you guys. Look out for future event dates. Join, like, subscribe, all the things you normally hear people say. And remember, let's forge this path forward together. Until next time.
At Gentforge, we're more than a networking group. We're a community-driven initiative empowering small business owners to overcome challenges and build meaningful connections. By supporting Gentforge, you're investing in workshops, resources, and networking opportunities that help local entrepreneurs thrive. Your contribution fuels innovative events, mentorship programs, and collaboration spaces that create lasting impact for businesses and the communities they serve. Together, we can forge stronger businesses and a brighter future. Join us in shaping the next generation of local success. Support Gentforge today.